Thank you for joining me. This is Kati Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. Today, we're going to dive into the best questions for you to ask during employee reviews. And I'm excited to share this because it was one of the most positive feedback loop forms of review seasons that we've ever had with our most recent annual reviews. These questions can be used for quarterly reviews, monthly reviews. We use them for annual reviews. Now, at every company that I have, which is Maya and Be Inspired Salon, we always put the power in the hands of the provider or the technician. So, whomever is receiving a review actually self reviews as a major portion of the review process. We want to hear from them what they believe about themselves, their role, and their performance, and their future goals. So when we submit on the salon side, their reviews and the questions that we would like to hear from them about, we do show them their performance stats. So we definitely lead with facts, not feelings. I don't put feelings on them. I want to hear how they feel actually in light of their performance, but more so where they believe they're at in the career process and as it pertains to their role within our company. So we do in-person reviews once a year, and our quarterly reviews we send virtually, and we're all included. So all the leaders for salon operations are included in hearing and seeing the feedback. This is key for you in multiple ways. Let's dive in and we'll kind of go into that. So, for our annual reviews for our stylists, we sent them their performance and we said, hey, here's what you did over the course of the entire year. Here's an overview summary of the year within the last year that you've had. And we then say, here's what you've done in the last quarter, because we do quarterly reviews. So then they can see how they've improved from the previous quarter to the most recent. And then we say, hey, here's a short survey. Click here to complete the survey prior to your in-person review. At this particular review, we wanted to get updated love languages as our first question. How fun is this? Now, I'm going to tell you that we as a salon came out of a season of loss. We lost stylists to booth rental. We lost stylists that were culture challenges. We lost stylists who won't return from, let's say, maternity leave or a leave. So it felt more painful. And with the focus of our questions, we wanted to gear a lot towards improving culture and just being very hyper aware of here's what we think as leaders our culture is. Here's, our culture code of conduct per se. But is that what's actually happening? We want to know. I think that secrets keep you sick. So the more clarity you can get, the more effective you can be in protecting the culture. So I started out just sharing this little message. I said, hi, team. I will be super honest. I'm very excited for you to share your survey answers. And I'm also nervous. I believe we have the best salon, the best team and guests in our area. But I also know we have challenges as well. I promise that I'm dedicated to personally improve and work to continuously improve all aspects of our salon. Progress over perfection, grace over judgment. I truly want our salon to be the best place you go to grow, learn, have fun doing what you love, earn an awesome living, have an awesome life, have joy, support, and feel that your team is genuinely for you. We have so many goals for our team this year and so many ways we want to evolve to make our business model better than it's ever been. Thank you in advance for your honest feedback. We care about you and we are excited for this new year filled with new opportunities. Be inspired, Kati. So we start out with the first question. Please choose your top 2 love languages. And with the support of our leadership team prior to sending this out, we discovered from one of our leaders a new sixth love language. So previously, I've always known love languages to be time, having that quality time. That's when you feel most valued, when someone gives you their time and attention. Then there's touch, of course, appropriate physical encouragement. So I feel encouraged through connection. So for us, it could be like a side hug, a high five, a bump on the arm. I'm totally like this. I'll come up and put my hand on your shoulder. Oh my goodness, this looks great. So I think I'm high on touch, of course, appropriately. And I don't know if it's sports or just how I grew up, but then we have positive affirmations, words of encouragement, really. So this is someone who feels most valued when they're told they're doing a good job. We have gifts, thoughtful gifts. They feel love when someone thinks of them and gives them something meaningful. Acts of service, helpful actions. So this is someone who feels most appreciated when someone helps them or lightens their load. And then the new one is feeling known, being understood. This is where someone feels most appreciated when someone remembers the small details about them and understands who they are as an individual. So everybody select their top two. It's not just good to know this. It's good to share this with your leaders. But even more important, after this event, we put in both break rooms at both locations a list of our entire roster, not just the location you're in, but everybody that's part of the company wide roster. We put who they are and their top two languages so that we can go out of our way to meet people where they're at and show them care and attention and support their way. The next question we ask on their reviews are, if you were to invest time and energy into just 3 advanced education opportunities this year, which topics do you desire to learn about most? This was really neat because it was open comment box. It wasn't like choose one of these things. It was really just like, give me your feedback. And it really opened our eyes to various things, like how fun that there were a handful of people that wanted pixies and mullets. And I just crack up because every year our industry tries to sell us on doing mullets, that mullets are cool, but they kind of are. Okay. They kind of are cool. I won't be getting one, but when I see a trendy version of a mullet, I'm like, ooh, that person's cool. So it's just fun. It's fun to see the variety. And what it really does is when we share this with our education training team, it helps us create more of a personalized plan. We decided as a company that our biggest strength is education. No other salon in our area can compete with us when it comes to the amount of education that we provide. But sometimes your weaknesses are simply your strengths being abused. So the thing that we value most can also be the thing that burns people out the quickest. So we wanted to say, hey, you don't have to come to something twice per month. We're going to make things more customized. So they're going to be, 6 times a year, going to have major events that everybody's here for, period. And then there are going to be a variety to choose from that are more custom to what the team actually desires. So if 4 of you want to hone in on reds for hair coloring, formulation, and application, that will be offered to everybody, but really geared for the 4 of you who want it most. And that's really been cool to help us personalize that experience for our team. The third question, please rate our salon culture on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being toxic and 10 being healthy and growth centric. Now, it's one thing to ask that and give a range of 1 to 10. It's another to identify or define, what does it mean to have a toxic work culture? What does it mean to have a healthy, thriving culture? I really wanted to gauge where people felt we were at, because what I believe might be different from what they believe. And I really appreciate everybody's perspective. So we defined it. What is a toxic work culture? We put, it feels heavy and draining. People often feel stressed, underappreciated, or on edge. There may be gossip, blame, favoritism, poor communication, or constant tension. Mistakes are punished instead of coached. People come to work just to survive the day, not to grow. Energy and trust are low. Then we defined a healthy, thriving culture. That kind of culture feels supportive, energizing, and growth focused. People feel respected, heard, and safe to be honest. Communication is clear and kind. Feedback is used to help people improve, not tear them down. The team supports each other, celebrates wins, and takes responsibility when things go wrong. People feel proud of where they work, motivated to improve, and excited about the future. Hopefully, you are excited to implement some of these questions into your annual reviews. Number 4, we have just 3 more to go. Which which mentors or leaders have invested the most energy and heart into your career? What do you appreciate most about their support? This was awesome because there were people who were listed we were surprised by, who go out of their way to offer mentorship or support to a team member that we did not realize. And then it also affirmed where leadership is showing up in what ways. How did we make this special after the fact? We sent each individual who happened to be mentioned for any reason in the survey team wide, we sent them an individual, really creative little video reel just for them. And they could see, here are what your team members said about you. And we didn't give specifics like this person said this person said that. We didn't want them to know who said what because then they might overthink who didn't say what, right? But we just showed them that positive feedback. And by the way, doesn't that help keep the energy high for those people that just are serving, and giving to others? So when you have your, let's say, education training team constantly working on their own clientele while focusing on helping you with yours when you have consultations or color formulations, or setting aside one-on-one time to help you in a specific way, that can be a lot to take on. And it would be nice to just hear some great appreciation and feedback. And this really helped with that. Even our location managers or guest services team and how they help people or each other. It was really powerful, and it made everybody just feel like that new sense of energy that what I do here really matters. It matters to people, and it does. That's the power and the pleasure of being a part of a team. Number 5, what are your top reasons for being a part of Team Be Inspired Salon? We wanted to hear, this is why I love working here. This is what, and we know it's the support, it's our education, it's our constant communication, feedback. We want to hear from them. Then I put, if there were reasons you'd exit, what would those reasons be? So it's kind of a 2-part question. And there was a variety. If favoritism became just exorbitant, if I wanted to pursue my own path someday, if financially I felt like I've capped out. Those are really honest things to say. And I applaud the courage for people to really open up and be honest. That's what I asked for. And if you ask for the truth and then you get it, it is your responsibility to treat that respectfully and being open and gracious and loving in receiving that honest feedback. And then number 6, what are your dream achievements this year? Do you have an income goal, a dream vacation? Do you want to move out on your own or maybe buy your first home? Are you looking to earn a new certification or attend a special industry event? Do you want to buy a new car? This helps us really gauge, what are they working for? What's the why behind, hey, I show up here every day, I do what I love, and this is the dream I have for myself or my family or my partner or whatever this coming year. We want to know because we want to check back in and see how they're doing and help them get there. Now, we can't make everybody's dreams come true. We can't plan your vacation for you, but we can help set you up to the best of our ability to be very, very successful. Now, the really important thing you've heard me say, and after the fact, we did this with this information. So, the very next thing that you do is really setting up that debrief with your leaders. Now, prior to that, I want to tell you this. Those are the questions that we sent when they filled out their pre in person review. This is the survey. And then after they filled all that out, we actually sat down in person. And let me just share, I had 7 questions once we were in person. So I had this information, their survey information. And now I said to them, and this again, this is annual. So I said, hey, what have been the highlights for you in this past year? And I just sit and listen. Everybody has something different. It could be personal. They were like, oh, having a baby and being a mom. I mean, like, that's so cool. And then we say, okay, were there any low points? And we get to hear about this. And people really open up. It doesn't always have to tie to their work. It can be anything because we're really humans. We have one life. Professional and personal aren't really separate. And caring about the whole person holistically is so important. So, what are the highlights from the last year? What were any low points for you? And then we would ask, I just love this question. In the last year, what is something new that you have learned or discovered about yourself? And it's really neat to hear the different ways that people felt like they grew as an individual. This goes beyond, I did better at balayage. It was like, I became more confident in my consultations, which really helped me get to another. It's like a whole different way to open up a conversation to hear from them and learn about them. Then we asked, what do you desire most for your career right now in the next year? Like, what do you want most? What's that thing you want? And that was interesting also to hear. Was it craft related? Was it technique? Was it a certification? Was it adding a new service? A lot of people said continuing to build my clientele. How many of your stylists feel that way? That they just want to have their regulars that feel like they have a bond to them. And by the way, to have a heart for that, to want that is key. It is critical because we are in the relationship business. And it is so much easier to maintain and nurture and deliver on 150 relationships than see 300 to 400 clients a year. That's exhausting to do over and over. Eventually, you want to get to where you more so hone in on a specialty or a couple areas that you are really kind of known for. And then you work with those guests, those become your target market and the people that you love being around, the people that bring you the most energy. This is the goal. Then we ask any new skills, services, or ways that you want to specialize. And that was really neat to hear. And some surprising, like somebody bringing up, "Oh, I want to do bridal, or I kind of want to mentor other people." And it's like, well, really? Because you can join education training. You're awesome with this particular service. So when we have an apprentice or a new hire join, we will specifically put them to shadow you on certain days that they'll get exposure to the unique ways that you communicate and you deliver services and the services that you do. So that was really neat. Then we ask, what can we do? This is we as a leadership team. What can we do to support you? What can your team do to support you? So we wanted to hear from both perspectives. What can we really do to show up for you every single day that you're here? Love hearing everybody's feedback on that. This last question is really the most important. And I try to do that in every review with every company. Here's what we went through because you're kind of like in control. You're almost interviewing them, right? Like you get to hear their feedback. You can ask more questions about things. It opens up the door to discovering more and more. But at the very end, I say, is there anything we didn't talk about today that you wish we would have? And then most people are like, wow, we really covered a lot more than I even thought. Some people brought up, well, I'm thinking about a change of my schedule. I want to do 4 days instead of 5, or I want to close on a different day than this day. And it was just neat to open that door for people to bring up something out of left field, maybe, but it was like they had it on their heart. So you never know if somebody comes into the meeting hoping they can bring something up. I hope I have the courage to bring something. Now you're giving them the open invitation to do so. And like I said, all of this is important for two reasons. You're going to take notes on everybody's feedback. You're going to capture that feedback, but then you take it to your entire leadership team. And it's like, what do we do with this information? How do we effectively nurture, support, apply, offer? How do we take this information and make it really neat? Some of it is shining a light on people, like we've mentioned. Some of it is putting a plan in place for training or education. Some of it is rethinking policies potentially. Like this just shows you where are their heads at, because you want to be on the same page. You want them to know that you care, and taking it to a bonus level of productivity is putting out a future date. So for example, where we found out everybody's goal for education, we make that a livable document per se. It's digital. So we have the list of the people who want what type of education. It doesn't just get check complete. Now we know. It's like, hey, we meet as an education leadership team once per month. We're going to revisit this every single time we all meet together to see where we're at and what we're going to do next and how we're going to go about it. In the meantime, every day, every week, we're in our digital app where we communicate on an ongoing basis. We're going to have a face-to-face check-in on all this and follow up, and even carve out time to follow up with individuals on certain topics. So I hope this is inspiring for you. I hope that you take away some good nuggets that you might want to apply to your quarterly reviews, your monthly reviews, maybe your annual reviews. If you found that there was something great you took away and you want other people to know who are like you, that this podcast platform is a great outlet for learning how to successfully lead and grow a salon business, I would love if you could take a minute to leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening. I just want more exposure for this platform because we bring on now over 650 guests that are with us every single Monday. And then you and I are together every single Thursday. It would mean a lot if you could take a moment and do that for us. We appreciate you and your loyal listening every single week. Until next time, everybody, have an awesome day and stay strong.
Did you know over 60% of first-time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.